The big two are Marvel and DC, no doubt, right? But what if I told you there was a third company that dropped just as many, if not better, bangers than the big two? You probably say I was dumb as shit. But if you don't believe me, they're the people behind. Did you seriously just use an Invincible title card in the big 20?
Image Comics.
Now, as someone who's currently diving very big into the big two, well, one of the big two, I feel like I just had to just give Image Comics a chance. Because, I mean, there's like no real connected universe, so I'm really free to just jump in like whatever story I want to. And I really love that about Image, right? But that's also a problem because, like, what the fuck am I supposed to read? So I called in the fucking cavalry. The people who really know this comic shit. Ask the people who watch me, right? Because they really know what they talking about. Man, we finna go through them and we finna see if they good. And if the comics you showed me are good, you get a prize. If they're bad, now if you haven't read any of these comics, I'm gonna spoil, but it's not gonna be a crazy amount. It's just gonna be like enough to where you'll still be able to read the comic yourself and kind of like see it in all its glory, but you gonna know some shit. All right, no more talking, let's go. Alright, so first up we have the comic Do A Powerbomb. And it's written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson. What a fucking beast, bro. It's being recommended to us from the homie Shocker, who says, not an Image comic, but the IDW TMNT series is amazing. Not Image, so I'm not gonna read it for this video, but I am interested in the IDW Turtles just cause like I'm a big fan of the 2012 show. But I feel like you got some bar knowledge just for bringing that up, so I'm trusting what you're saying. Also, Do A Powerbomb is really good. I love the art in it. Now, as of current, obviously, I've already read the comic, right? So it's really just me acting unsure just to, you know, keep you on your toes because you never know when I'm going to give out an L, and you don't want to see it happen when I give someone an L. But honestly, the art in this shit is next level. You're going to see on some of these panels if you're looking. So Do A Powerbomb is basically this father-daughter story centered around bringing back our main character, Yona's dead father. Not father, mother.
What the fuck am I talking about?
But yeah, her father, Cobra Son, accidentally kills the mom in a wrestling match. And I'm skipping. That sounds crazy, but I'm skipping a good amount of details. Just know that they get involved with a powerful planet-busting necromancer that really loves wrestling. So he makes a tournament of people from different planets. And on every other planet, wrestling is real. Honestly, it's pretty crazy how things ended up. The story emotionally is really what hooked me. Like, the fact that Cobra Son and his daughter just can't really let go of Yuna because that was really what held their family together. Like, they started off really distant, but as time went on and they were teaming up, fighting against other teams, they even like got their own little team move, they became closer and closer. And even though they don't get Yona's mom back, she does watch them wrestle God. Oh yeah, they wrestle God. That shit must sound absolutely insane. And in a sense, when you really think about it, they really weren't never really wrestling for their mom. They were really wrestling for their family, and they got it back. They got close again. They were no longer just distant. Real quick, let's talk about these panels, bro. If somebody do this shit to your back, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, hell no!
Can you believe this nigga kicked out of this shit? Bro, some of these finishers gotta be illegal for the eye to behold. Look at this shit. Oh my gosh. Okay, final verdict. Is Do A Powerbomb fire or ass? Well, obviously it's fire. The art, the story, everything, just peek. And just know if this shit gets a show or a movie, it's fucking over. Alright, Shock. You fulfilled your job, it's time for your reward. Cool, right?
Is this nigga serious?
This isn't just a normal rag, I assure you. This is the universal wiper. It can wipe anything. Like the air, I can wipe the air like this. Enjoy your prize. Good recommendation. Come on, bro. You know I had to do it one time. Next up, we got a classic here. We got Savage Dragon, at least where I currently am. I have not finished it yet. And it's written and drawn by Eric Larson. This is recommended to us by, I'm gonna say this shit wrong, Hector Gutierrez. Was that right? He says, if you like science fiction / fantasy, read Saga. We're gonna get back to Saga later because I think somebody beat him to the punch saying this. And for a cool superhero book, The Savage Dragon. Alright, now you're breaking new ground. Now, like I said a second ago, I have not finished this comic yet because it is the Image Comics equivalent of One Piece, right? Currently, I'm on issue 21. I believe they just wrapped up the little Overlord arc. If you've read the comic, you know. Bro just got put in a pack. It's about fucking time. Dr. Doom clone ass nigga. But I guess I'm supposed to, explain Savage Dragon? That's pretty hard considering I don't even know his origin story yet. But basically, mutants exist and they just going rampant. Our boy Frank Darling finds Savage Dragon in an alley filled with fire. Still don't know what that's about. And he remembers everything about like everything except himself. I don't know if that makes sense. He basically got amnesia. Maybe like selective amnesia, if that's the thing. And Frank gets Dragon to join the police force. And Savage Dragon is pretty much helping sweep the city of mutant crime. But they call it in Image freaks. Well, in just this comic, freaks. So they'll call them mutants.
You some freaky ass nigga!
The comic does hit a lot of things. Like, for example, accountability. Like there's this old lady that hated Dragon because of what she did to her daughter. She caught up the ex while Dragon had her in his... Fuck, bro. It's so hard to explain. Dragon was basically cracking her daughter, but it's because she kicked out her daughter. And then she called the ex of her daughter. Told him what was going on with Savage Dragon. This nigga pops up at the door and just shoots the nigga who answers. And it turns out to be the girl. So she got her own daughter killed, right? And she just goes on this fucking crusade to just pack up Savage Dragon. There's also when like Savage Dragon went evil when he was like mind controlled by that worm. And we really see all the day ones that still fuck with him. Like Alex Wild, Rapture. But then you see everybody else in the police force kind of just like switch up. So you really know who Savage Dragon's real friends is. There's also, I also feel like that's a parallel with the Overlord. Because since he switched up on everybody, nobody was loyal to him. And honestly, there's just a lot of shit that goes on in Savage Dragon, especially at one time. I don't think the topics it hits are the strong point of the comic. I feel like the best thing about Savage Dragon so far to me is their characters and their relationships with each other. Like, I like how Larson goes out of his way to just get us accustomed to like pretty much all the police force before he kills them. Even though we won't be seeing them all the time or anything like that, but it's world building. I fuck with that. And then we get even more world building with like the Freak Force and She-Dragon, who I hope eventually at least gets with Dragon, because I'm low-key tired of Electricity Girl, bro. She always be trying to fuck at the worst moments. Nigga, we is trying to find the strongest mob boss of all time. Why is you trying to bust it open at a police station while you on one crutch? And I heard from a couple of people, it does become a glorified porn comic later on. I was just like, wow. I haven't even made it there, but you're telling me they start fucking more than they do now? Bro, oh girl be giving it up every issue. But if I had to say whether Savage Dragon so far is a hit or a miss, I'd say it's pretty good. Like, there are over 200 issues, Hector. If it becomes ass, I can change my mind. And I can revoke my prize at any time, okay? So I'm gonna say it's good for now. I'm gonna give you your prize, but I can take it away at any time. Here you go, Hector. You said, what's this? It's obviously an elixir of some kind. You should drink it. What does it matter if something is in it? Just drink it, Hector. Just drink it. Congratulations, you drank the Century Serum. Hey, Jermaine the editor here. This next one isn't an Image comic, but I didn't know that until after I read it, and I just didn't pay attention. My bad. Next up on the agenda, we got one of our most consistent viewers, my boy, Tyler. What's up, you good, bro? I was just making sure. He says, I found the Pedestrian to be an enjoyable indie comic. I've never really gotten around to reading Image comics since I'm so into Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and manga. Just never really had it in the schedule. Now, the Pedestrian is by Joey, might pronounce this wrong, Esposito. Was that right? And it's drawn by John Jansen and Sean Van Gorman. That nigga got a cool ass name. Van Gorman, dude. So, the Pedestrian is definitely interesting. Now, first things first, I wish the comic was longer, because there's a lot of stuff that is just straight up left unexplained. I don't know if the comic is still going or what, but literally everything related to like the traffic cosmic entities needs to be explained. Like, cause who the fuck is the Pedestrian? What is his motive? The comic honestly shines with his supporting characters though. Like, we see those characters and how they feel about Summer City is eating them up and making losers out of them, right? And as the Pedestrian starts saving them, they sort of like get clarity. And they start making more clear moves with their lives, and they start doing better. Like, the way the Pedestrian swoops in and helps everybody, like not just physically but mentally, it reminds me of this anime from the 90s called Golden Boy, right? It's basically where the main character just goes around just helping people like a good Samaritan.
You son of a...
Honestly, I feel like I would have more to say about the Pedestrian, but it's just so fucking short. so I can't really make up my mind on how I feel about it. But if I had to say between good or bad, I had a relatively good experience with the comic, so I'll say it's good. That's just because of one factor. Whenever the Pedestrian is on screen and he walking somewhere, that should be funny as fuck. He'll be walking like this. Okay, Tyler, your prize. No, it's not just a normal clothes rack hanger. No, it's a mystical artifact. Wow. And it gives you powers depending on what you put on it.
Yes.
Like you put water on it, you become a waterbender. Like it's really a tough mystical artifact.
Oh my goodness, Valentine!
Psych, nigga, it was just a normal hanger. Alright, next up we got Saga from the guy Just Reagan. He says, Saga is a brilliant story that's still ongoing, but for a complete story, Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction is really good. I was more interested in Saga because I heard other people say it. So I might get to that one in a later part. There's a lot of stuff that people commented that I just didn't get to in this video. I'll talk about that later. Honestly though, Reagan was not lying. Saga is most definitely brilliant, and I have not finished it yet. I'm on issue 12. But I kind of just had to talk about this in the video, bro. Like, it and Savage Dragon can low-key get his own video when I finish it. Just because, like, I didn't finish it for this one. And it's kind of unfair because I finished everything else. But Saga is basically like race wars in space. There's like this, I don't want to say civil war, but it's basically going on between people who live on a planet and people who live on the planet's moon, right? I remember them as the Horns and the Wings because I can't remember their species names. We also got some TV people, but whatever. Basically, our main characters are supposed to be enemies, but instead they love each other and make a baby. They even show us how she was fucking conceived. And because of that, they are on the run from mercenaries, princes, they just can't catch a fucking break. One thing that I like about Saga is that it's not even just about our two main characters. Their names are escaping me right now. We also get to see things from like the sides of the people who are supposed to be the villains, like the bounty hunters chasing them, the royalty guy. Like, it feels very similar to Castlevania, if you've seen that. In the way, like, we follow the villains too. Like, a lot of Saga feels like Castlevania. Like, I think his name was Marcus. Marcus and his wife feel a lot like Sypha and Trevor, right? And I fuck with that so much. Like, and I feel like the Will feels like Isaac. I just love this comic. Everything it does so well. And then anything involving magic or space just always gives some great looking panels. And bro, Saga also hits on some really big topics, and it's an overall just great show. One of these streaming services gotta stop playing and give this a show. All right, Reagan, prize time. Now, before you say anything, this isn't a normal croc. It's the croc of levitation. When I throw it up, it levitates. How does it levitate? Nobody asked that. It stops time. Can't really just turn it back on whenever you want to. You gotta wait for the shoe to turn it back on, but here, bro. You'll never know. It was just a normal croc, and it was missing a strap. All right, for my boy Mr. Bosch. If you like Matrix or Blade Runner, try One Hand and the Six Fingers. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I forgot to read the Six Fingers. I did know it was part of the One Hand universe. I was gonna decide to read it before making this, but I was like, nah. Or just The Walking Dead if you want not that much text and a lot of action. I'm gonna read The Walking Dead, but it's probably gonna be like the last Image thing I read because it's even longer than Savage fucking Dragon. So basically, for One Hand, there's a killer with this crazy body count, right? Pause. And he basically just leaves these alien-looking marks all over every little body he has, right, that's found. And our main character is a detective, and he's on the verge of retirement, trying to catch him, yada, yada, yada. Now, incredibly heavy spoilers, because I feel like One Hand's ending is actually the best part of the comic, right? Throughout the comic, we have sort of this cat and mouse game between Ari, he's the main character and the detective, and the One Hand killer, right? And it ends up being something very deep I was not expecting. So it turns out, we find out that in the world of One Hand, the world has reached what they call machine singularity. And that's a very long time ago too, as they said. Which is basically when I think machines are so advanced, they just do everything for humans. Like think Wall-E times 2 minus 5. What the fuck am I talking about? And the machines find out that the humans are starting to unalive themselves because they're not really doing anything. Because they just not doing nothing. The machines are doing everything for them. And the way they solve that problem is by giving them purpose. For example, Ari chasing the one-hand killer this entire comic, that was his purpose and what kept him alive. And when I read that shit, I was just, bro, holy shit, what a reveal. That was literally my reaction. That shit generally had me looking at the invisible camera like it just stole my lunch money, bro. Yes, one hand is good. Take your prize, Bosch. This is no normal bottle. It's a super bottle. Inside of it contains an infinite multiverse. I am scaled to outerversal just by holding it. Here.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Neo Gaming. I'm not gonna lie to you, Neo. This by far gotta be my favorite Image comic I've read so far, and I'm just like taken aback just how good it was. I don't even gotta read what you said, just know you did well, my G. Welcome to the Good Taste Club.
Say that again?
Where the fuck do I even start, right? First, Valifax. Bro is literally every sword all at once. The nigga is omnipresent. So hey, y'all power skillers, y'all better pray y'all favorite character don't use a sword. Man, this comic is fucking beautiful. The story is about like legacy. And what do you define as a legacy? Like an heirloom, for example. A tomb chased after Valifax. He was basically his heirloom, right? A tomb chased after Valifax and tried to take it from an old man on death's door, right? And in the process of trying to obtain a material-like object to solidify his legacy, right? He ended up losing his children, lost his kingdom, and he was ultimately forgotten. Even though he's physically immortal, he virtually died. Then we got Emmett. Emmett let go of Valifax and used his last moments to share everything with his son. His son passes it down to everybody in their family, and they have a legacy. Emmett may have died, but he's been immortalized thanks to his family. There's this panel, and this is the greatest panel I've ever seen. Not even just art-wise, the emotional weight and what it means for the story. And Emmett letting go of Valifax which was basically keeping him alive, right? Not alive, but keeping him. He just let go and he passed it to his son. And we physically see this, and then we emotionally see it as well. It's just peak. Like, I need this to get a movie or a limited series or something. Everybody should see this and experience this. If you haven't read it, you need to go read it right now. Of course, I don't like how they treated Valifax in the ending. Like, they just threw bro away. But whatever, bro. That's still perfect. Hey, man, Neo, I ain't gonna lie. You get an actual prize. Like, I know I've been trolling with this shit, but here, bro. You get to pick from the shoebox of destiny. And with that, that's pretty much all the comics I've read for this video. I definitely want to do this again because Image Comics is peak and y'all showed me some really good shit. Like, there was not a bad one that y'all showed me. And in these comments, I want y'all to leave me some more comics you think I like. Like, we're going to expand the horizons a bit. Not just any comic, not just Image. You can give me any comic publisher but Marvel and DC. Let's see what y'all give me. And by the way, I've already read Radiant Black and I'm staying show only with Invincible. Those two are out. Cool? Cool. Everything else, free game. And before I get out of here, I got a little Discord. That's our little community. We just be chilling, come through, talk, hang with us, man. It's in the description. It's literally just a swipe, a tap, and a tap. That's all. I'm gonna be looking for you too. You better be in there, bucko. I'm counting attendance. If you're not in there, I'm gonna give you a knuckle sandwich for dinner. But if you don't want to do that, or you don't be looking at the Discords, I usually be in my community post. That's typically where I be at when I'm not posting. Okay, all the shameless plugs are done. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Peace.